think we get the TV. Oh, there it is. Morning.
Morning, Your Honor.
Right. Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Caleb Gonzalez.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez. First of all, you do have family present in the courtroom. I just wanted to advise you of that, sir. So this, sir, is your initial appearance. You've been arrested on multiple charges, two of which include, well, there's 2 counts of murder in the first degree, 1 count of armed robbery. And so you, sir, are presumed innocent of all these charges. And there's also a charge of aggravated robbery. You have the right to remain silent as it relates to anything that we're talking about here today. And so you also have the right to be represented by an attorney, sir, the legal defender to represent you. And for the purpose of this hearing, I reviewed the information that was provided by pretrial services. I have also reviewed the information that was submitted as part of the juvenile transfer process. And I've also reviewed the state's recommendation, which is a $1 million bond. Ms. Summers, anything further you'd like to add to that?
The only thing I would like to add is that I understand that he does not appear to have any felony juvenile referral history, and there's information about that he can live with his mother. The only thing I guess the point I would make about that is, he had these resources at the time in terms of family support or living with his mother, and still was participating in this activity. And then the information that I noted as to the nature of the offense and his involvement in it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. LaPrade.
Your Honor, I ask a bond of $500,000, which is extremely cost prohibitive. 99% of the people in our community still cannot post that. It is likely he's going to remain in custody during the pendency of this case, but $500,000 will adequately accomplish everything that $1 million would, without straining the family nearly as much. I want to read part of an email that his mother sent me, which I think sheds light on Caleb as a person, and also includes factors that I think the court should consider. Caleb was currently enrolled at Sunnyside High School and had an active IEP in place. He had no prior involvement with the justice system, never been arrested before this incident. He's diagnosed with ADHD and ODD. ODD is oppositional defiant disorder. He's medicated for both of those at the juvenile detention facility, which they can continue to do that. He was working before his arrest at a local business. And was also working closely with his school psychologist. So there's a lot of factors at play here. But at this juncture, I think a $500,000 bond is absolutely adequate to assure his further appearance in court, should the family manage to bond him out, and also guarantee the community's safety. That said, I don't know if we're arguing today whether to keep him at juvenile or.
So I don't believe so, because essentially this hearing this morning was preceded by a transfer hearing in juvenile court, where I believe all of the Rule 7.7 factors were fully broached. And then he will also be entitled to juvenile reauthorization hearings in the future, as he said that he gets indicted. If he does, that he would be entitled to that process as well in Superior Court. But I don't believe that for today's sake, that sort of downtown versus juvenile analysis is part of this morning's hearing.
But Your Honor, he can work back to juvenile.
So, Your Honor, I've been told by Lieutenant Hamilton that you can order him back to juvenile. Since that's the case, I'd like to make a record on that.
Sure, of course.
Okay, so the bottom line here, he is 16 years old. As I mentioned before, he has not been in trouble before with the juvenile system or the adult felony system. The juvenile system here has the resources to rehabilitate him, continue his education, and cater to him as an individual that the jail just absolutely does not have. I spoke with Caleb this morning. He's already in a GED program in juvenile. He said before his arrest, he was doing well in school and he wants to continue that GED program in juvenile. I know there is one pod in the jail that houses juveniles, and they're mostly charged with very, very serious crimes. Right now, Caleb is stable. He's, I don't believe, a threat to himself or or others, but he's very, very scared. I'd worry that if he remains at the Pima County Jail with others charged with very serious crimes, many of whom have long histories in the juvenile system and prior felonies, that his mental health will greatly decline. One of the 7.7 factors is best interest of the juvenile. No doubt that the juvenile facility serves Caleb's best interests. They can individually cater to his needs. As I said before, he had an IEP. They just have the resources that the jail does not. And I validated that with the jail staff. I ran it by them and I said, I only want to argue that if it's true. And it's absolutely true. As I said before, he's 16. That's another one of the factors. I addressed his present mental state is stable, but I really worry about that. We know the nature of the offense. I'm not going to comment on that. But one of the other factors is the safety of him and other juveniles. No doubt that the juvenile system will keep him safe, not expose him to the one pod that we have in the Pima County Jail 1H, which I really would worry about him residing in for the duration of this case. I know he's going to have a very high bond. Unlikely he's going to get out. Undeniable that the juvenile system will serve him better and inevitably serve the community better.
Okay. Thank you, counsel, for your advocacy. So the court is going to impose a $1 million cash secured bond. Additionally, to the extent that that bond gets posted, the court is going to, and I'm going to make some specific findings on why I think he ought to remain downtown. But in the event that that bond gets posted, Mr. Gonzalez, you are ordered to not possess any firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, have no contact with the alleged victims' families, do not go to the alleged victims' residences and incident location, Willie Blake Park. As I said, the legal defender is appointed to represent you, sir. I'm also ordering that you have no contact whatsoever with the alleged accomplice, Jose Mendez Torres. As far as the reasons why I believe that it's appropriate for Mr. Gonzalez to be housed downtown, at least for the time being, court has reviewed the factors under Criminal Rule 7.7 and finds that the nature and circumstances of the alleged offense in particular demonstrate that it is more appropriate, and also the safety of other juveniles in a juvenile facility, potential risk that could be posed to those individuals in that facility warrant the court ordering that Mr. Gonzalez be held downtown. So that is what I'm doing. Mr. Gonzalez, if you do post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, it's really important that first of all, you do a couple things. You stay in contact with your attorney, and also that you come back to any and all court dates, because if you do not do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest and a trial can proceed in your absence. I am setting a preliminary hearing date that is going to be on February 9th, 1:30 in the afternoon. Stay in contact with your attorney because they can tell you about what that means and what some of the next steps may be. Anything further on this one, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, do you set the reauthorization hearing now, or does that get taken care of at a written?
That's a good question. I think it will probably be taken. Oh, it's now? Okay, it is normally now. Okay, so let's do that. It's the first time I've done one of these types of hearings for a juvenile.
Thank you, bye.
Yeah. So given the need to set the hearing within at least every 30 days, we'll go ahead and set it for 4 weeks from today. That's going to be on Thursday, February 19th, 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'll show it in front of Judge Casey McGinley, Division 18, subject to being reassigned depending on any reassignment of the homicide in the event that an indictment does issue. All right, thanks all.
Thank you.
Yes. That's going to be in Superior Court. I think we need to set it. Well, I was just told to set it today, so I set it today. So if you could just maybe put on the condition of release that. Yeah. No problem. No worries. No worries. It's all good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no worries. Thanks. Yeah, it's
Right.
Your Honor, on your list, we have no name booking, but we're gonna do her next. It's Mrs. Smith, first name Casey.
okay. And this is her.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. All right. Good morning, ma'am. Could you please tell me your name?
Good morning, Casey Smith.
All right. This is your initial appearance. You're charged with 2 misdemeanor counts, one of which is public nuisance. The other is to refusing to provide your true name. You do have the right to remain silent, ma'am. Anything you're about to say about this case could be used against you. So I am so if I release you, ma'am, will you come back to court?
Yeah.
Okay, because I need you to do that, because if you don't do that, ma'am, a warrant's going to issue for your arrest. You'll find yourself right back in that same seat you're in right now, most likely. So give me just a moment. So your next hearing is going to be an arraignment. That's going to be in South Tucson City Courts. And I'm ordering, ma'am, that you not go back to the incident location. And you need to come back to court, as I said, because if you don't do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest. All right? You are excused.
Your Honor, this is the Spanish interpreter. May the Spanish interpreter be excused?
Yes, you may. Sorry, I didn't see you on the line, but I do not believe we have any Spanish speakers. So have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor. Interpreter is disconnected.
Good morning, sir.
Morning,
Just tell me your name.
Francisco Javier Fuentes.
Fuentes. This, sir, is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you committed theft in excess of $100,000. You illegally conducted an enterprise, I should say. You committed fraud, trafficking and stolen property, and then also there's a conspiracy charge on there. As to all these matters, sir, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. And also, you do have the right to be represented by an attorney. And to that end, I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you, sir. And so in order to prepare for this hearing, and Mr. LaPrat seated next to you, he's going to help you out for the purpose of this morning. In order to prepare for this hearing, sir, I did review the information submitted by pretrial services, also the information in the interim complaint, and then the state's recommendation, which is from the Attorney General's office requesting cash secured bond. Mr. LaPrat, and is Mr. McCray on? I don't think he is, but
He is not. I'm specially appearing for the Attorney General's office on Mr. Fuentes, and then there's another one, defendant number 9.
okay, very good. And do you have anything to add, Ms. Summers?
I do not.
Okay, thank you, Mr. LaPrat.
1 second, Your Honor. I'm
Sure.
going to go on mute. Your Honor, he's got a probation hold, so during the pendency of this case, he's not going to be getting out unless probation removes that hold, which is very unlikely. I'd ask a bond of $50,000.
Okay. The court is going to impose a $50,000 cash secured bond for Mr. Fuentes. Mr. Fuentes, Mr. LaPrade makes a good point about the probation hold, and it's highly unlikely that you're going to get out of custody. But in the event that you do, you must come back to court, because if you don't do that, a warrant's going to issue for your arrest. And also, you could face certain consequences depending on the timing of the failure to appear, including the trial going forward in your absence, things like that. So let me talk to you about some other conditions of release, and then we will conclude. You're going to, if you post that bond, you get out of custody, you're going to be ordered to not possess any firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, submit to monitoring and treatment as recommended by pretrial services. And additionally, sir, you may not go back to any Home Depot store at all, period. Not a one. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, and I'm setting your preliminary hearing. It's going to be on February 9th. 1:30 in the afternoon in Superior Court. Again, you're being represented by the public defender, sir, so please stay in contact with them. They can keep you apprised as to what's going on with that preliminary hearing date and so forth. All righty, sir, you are excused.
Thank you. Good luck.
This way, sir.
Release. Auto alarm, sorry, I didn't click that.
Judge, I believe the next one is the defendant with the last name of Lamb, which is a misdemeanor, so I'm not appearing, but it's my understanding that Miss Ball is a victim who is present.
Okay, thank you. We did get some information about other victims being present, but I appreciate the heads up on an additional victim there. So. Good morning, ma'am. Could you please tell me your name?
Donna Lamb.
All right, Ms. Lamb, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a couple charges, both of which are alleged to be acts of domestic violence. The first is 1 count of assault. The other is 1 count of disorderly conduct. They're alleged to have happened last night, a little before midnight. So as to both of those matters, ma'am, you are presumed innocent, and you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about them could be used against you. So in order to prepare for this hearing, I did, and I believe we may have a victim on the line as well. I will hear from the victim in just a moment if they would like to provide input on what they'd like me to do. But in order to prepare for this hearing, I've reviewed the information from pretrial services. I reviewed a Form 4C assessment that was provided. And That covers it. So, is there a victim on the line? Let me start there.
Yes, Alita Ball.
Okay, thank you very much. And what would you like me to know? I'm making a decision on whether or not she ought to stay in the jail, and if she is released, what conditions ought to run with that.
Yeah, I didn't want the officers to take her last night in the first place. I have zero concerns about safety. I really just want her back home with us. And it was, we're both under a lot of stress, caring for an aging parent who it's been very stressful for us. We were actually just, attempting to have a few hours of relaxation last night, and it just got out of hand. And yeah, I this is the first time this has ever happened. She's never been charged or anything. There's nothing ever been happened like this. I think it's just one of those wacky things. On top of that, I'm not hurt at all. And on top of that, we have been planning for about 8 months now to go on vacation on Saturday, and I would really, really, really like to do that. Our son, who is autistic, is really been looking forward to that, and really just want that to happen if possible.
Okay, and so I appreciate your comments, ma'am, first and foremost. So I am going to order you released, Miss Lamb, but I got a couple conditions for you. It seems, a lot of pretty much all the factors that I would look at in determining whether or not you ought to stay in or be released are pointing towards giving you a chance at being released. However, I need you to do a couple things. I need you to not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs and not commit any acts of domestic violence. And you're, of course, presumed innocent of this first one. Are you willing to follow those conditions, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you are going to be released. And then where is I don't need like much specifics, but where is the vacation to? Because I'm also going to order that you may leave Pima County for the purpose of the vacation. And I just need to include like the state or just the general location in that order so that it's on the paperwork that you get.
It's a cruise from Los Angeles down the
Down to
Gulf of Mexico.
Mexican Riviera.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mexico.
it's
Yeah.
Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, and Cabo, and then back.
Why
to
don't-
LA.
when are the dates on that? Just like generally speaking, when do you leave? When do you get back into Tucson?
January 31st is when we leave, and we get back on the afternoon of February 9th.
Okay. I'm going to put that in the paperwork. Okay, so you are good to go on the vacation as well. So, ma'am, you're going to be released from the jail in a couple hours here. You're going to get paperwork that says all of this. Your next court date, one thing that I just realized is that your next court date is on February 9th at 10:30. However, that can be moved. Okay, so that's something where what you're going to need to do is your court date's going to be in Justice Court downtown, 240 North Stone. It's one of the newer buildings downtown, probably the newest. And so just there's some paperwork that you can file to get that moved out. Because if you don't show up for that court date, a warrant's going to issue for your arrest most likely. But there's ways to get it moved so that you don't have to worry about that hearing on the same day that you come back into town. All right. So the information for the courthouse is going to be on the paperwork you get. If you stop by there before you leave town, you should be able to put in paperwork to get that court date moved. All right. Ma'am, you're excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Judge, did you say that court date was February 9th?
That's right. Yeah, 10:30.
Thank you.
And thank you to the victim for being present as well. Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Gabriel Matthews.
All right, Mr. Matthews, this is your initial appearance. Seeing you on charges that allege that you you obstructed a public highway or other public thoroughfare, you committed criminal damage and also disorderly conduct, It's alleged to happen last night about 9 PM. You're presumed innocent in all these charges, sir. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these matters could be used against you. And so if I release you, sir, are you willing to follow certain conditions that I'm going to tell you about? It involves basically not consuming any alcohol or illegal drugs, not driving without a valid driver's license, and would you come back to court if I let you out?
Yes.
Okay, all right. In light of that, sir, I am going to release you this morning. Your next court date is going to be an arraignment, and that's going to be on February 9th. That's February 9th, 8:30 in the morning in Pima County Justice Court. And so, sir, again, you're going to be ordered not to drive without a valid license, no alcohol or illegal drugs. Please come back to court, because if you don't do that, sir, a warrant will issue for your arrest, and you will probably wind up back in custody. All right, sir, you're excused. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
How are you?
My name is Vivian.
Oh, there we go. All right, could you please tell me your name?
Marcos Cañas.
All right. Is Marcos Rodriguez?
No, it's Marcos Cañas, Georgia.
Oh, I'm sorry, got the wrong. I'm out of order here. Excuse me. Yeah, thank you. All right, so Ms. Cañas Beltran, this is your initial appearance here. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you committed disorderly conduct fighting, disorderly conduct, criminal damage, and then assault, all three of which are alleged to be acts of domestic violence. Sir, you are presumed innocent of all of them. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. And so, in order to prepare for this hearing, sir, I did review the information from pretrial services, and it does seem to indicate that you may be on federal supervised release for a case. Given the information that's before the court is going to hold you on a $1,000 cash secured bond, sir. And I'm going to set a next court date. It's going to be on February 6th, 1:45 in the
Excuse
afternoon.
me, Judge. Excuse me, Judge. Can I just correct you on that? I just got released from federal court, time served with no supervision.
Okay, let me see.
I have no probation. I have no probation whatsoever.
Okay.
So then, you know, and I never had a plea. I've been on pretrial before for federal.
Okay.
I've been on federal pretrial, and I've never been a flight risk.
All right, sir, if I release you, will you come back to court? I mean, that's really important that you do that. I'm going to hit you with some other conditions too, but will you at least come back to court and do the other things I'm going to tell you to do?
Yes, sir.
All right. So just
Yes, Your Honor.
a second. All right, so I am going to release you, sir. Your next court date is going to be on March 5th, 9 o'clock in the morning. You're going to get paperwork that says this, but March 5th, 9 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be in front of Judge Verena.
As long as I have the paperwork, I'll be there.
It'll be over to you shortly. Just a moment. I'm filling it out right now. All right, that's March 5th, 9 o'clock in the morning, sir. You're also going to be ordered not to possess or consume any alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons, and you can have no contact at all with the alleged victim, who appear to be your siblings, Jesus and Elsa Ramos Beltran. So are you willing to not go back to where they live and have no contact with them at all? Are you able to do that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. In light of that, sir, you are going to be released. Just a second. We'll be done. Alrighty, sir, that takes care of it. You're excused. One last thing though, before you head out, you need to come back to court. If you don't do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest. And also, this is the time set for your arraignment on these matters. So I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You are presumed innocent of them. One other thing besides getting a warrant, if you don't come back to court, is that if you don't come back to court, the trial could go forward in your absence. And if you were convicted at that trial, sir, going to be sentenced within 90 days, you'd lose the ability to appeal that conviction. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. You're excused.
Thank you.
So, yeah. Your Honor, concerning Marco Santiago Rodriguez, he
Yeah.
bonded out. He got released.
Got it. All right. Thank you much.
That's always skip.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please tell me your name.
Andres Edward Felix.
Felix, sir, this is your initial appearance. I am seeing you on one charge that alleges that you failed to comply with a court order. It's alleged to be an act of domestic violence. You, sir, are presumed innocent of that. You do have the right to remain silent as it relates to this matter. Anything you say about it could be used against you. In order to prepare for this hearing, I review the information provided by pretrial services. And the court does note that you appear to be have a prior case that you're pending in related to domestic violence allegations in Tucson City Court. And,
Yes.
So in any event, sir, given the information before the court is going to order that you be held on a $1,000 cash or secured bond. If you post that bond, sir, find yourself out of custody. You're ordered to not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons, have no contact of any kind with the minor child that was involved here or the legal representative, lawful representative for that child, and Felix. And that includes do not go to the victim's residence or incident location. That's not only because of this court's order, sir, but it's also because it appears that there's a valid order of protection that's in place. So really important that you not have any contact or go to that location. The court's going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you, sir. And then I believe that that covers it. You, sir, are excused. Let me tell you when your court date is. One last thing.
Okay.
So your court date is going to be on February 4th. That's February 4th at 1:30 in the afternoon. It's going to be in front of Judge Million. That's going to be for a DV arraignment. This is also the time set for that arraignment. We do it twice, apparently, with city court cases. And so as to that, sir, I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You're presumed innocent of these charges. And important to note that if you don't come back to court, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Also, trial could go forward in your absence. And if you could not be sentenced within 90 days, then you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction, sir. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, sir. You're excused. All right, there you go.
Austin. 42. He's coming right now.
All right.
Thank
Good morning,
you.
sir.
Good morning.
Please tell me your name.
Justice Hartman.
Okay. Just a moment. So you are charged with three charges, two of which are disorderly conduct and one of which is, two of which are disorderly conduct noise. The third is disorderly conduct language or gesture. They're alleged to have happened yesterday about 4:30 in the afternoon. You're presumed innocent of all these charges, sir. Anything you say about them could be used against you. So in order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information by pre-trial and give me just a second. Okay, so the information was, input was provided by the alleged victims who are alleged to be Marianne Hartman and James Hartman. And I'm sorry, the minor niece is the victim. Marianne Hartman is the lawful representative. In any event, all parties are okay with you being released from custody. All parties are okay with you having continued contact. Based on what I'm seeing, Yeah, so in light of that, sir, I am willing to release you from custody, but I need you to follow certain conditions. First of all, sir, you're going to be ordered not to consume or possess any alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, and you got to come back to court. Also, I'm ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons. And then your next court date, sir, is going to be in front of Judge Maldonado. And I'm writing this down. You're going to get paperwork that says all of this, but your next court date is going to be on March 2nd, 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep. Just a second. And that's going to be for an arraignment over there. All right, sir. So that takes care of it, other than one last thing before we conclude. You, sir, need to come back to court, because if you don't, a warrant will issue for your arrest. Also, this is a time set for your arraignment. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf for all these charges. In addition to getting a warrant, if you don't come back, trial could go forward in your absence if you don't show up for that trial, and could not be sentenced within 90 days of that trial if you were convicted. Then you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. I will comply with everything you ask.
All right, very good. You're going to get paperwork that says this, sir. You should be out of the jail a couple hours here. All right. Have a good afternoon, or good
Thank
rest.
you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please tell me your name.
My name is Ricardo Martinez.
All right. Thank you, sir. So I'm seeing you on a couple charges, actually 3 charges to be specific. One of which, actually 2 of which involve some sort of electronic communication for the purpose of making an obscene or lewd or profane communication. One of which also includes threatening or intimidating, all of which are alleged to be acts of domestic violence. You're presumed innocent of all these charges, sir. Anything you say about them could be used against you in order to prepare for this here. And you do have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm not going to appoint one, though, because I'm not seeking or work that it's not, jail time's not being sought at this time. So because of that.
Could I just ask a question? I never heard the first charge ever in my
Yeah.
life. What does that mean?
Sure, just a second. The citation's a little tricky to read, so give me a second here. So yeah, it alleges that you made an obscene, lewd, or profane communication using an electronic device. So, the statute is, you're going to get paperwork that says this, but the statute is listed on there as well. So you could take a look at what specifically that means if you Google your way to it. So in any event, sir, for today's sake, you are presumed innocent of all of these allegations. And actually that continues unless and until you're found guilty or plead guilty. In any event, sir, I have reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services, and so it looks like the alleged victim, who is a Davino Hernandez and a Zaida Hernandez, are, let's see, Ms. Hernandez is objecting to your release and does not want to have further contact with you. Mr. Hernandez's input cannot be discerned. So
she already has a restraining order on me. I have not seen her for 2 years. So I got a place to pay. I don't want to lose my place and all that. Of course she wants me to stay in, but I have not seen her for 2 years, or my dog.
All right, understand. And the court takes her position into account, but the court ultimately decides whether you stay in custody or you don't. And so, sir, I am willing to give you an opportunity at release so long as you follow certain conditions that I'm about to tell you about. And so, at the top of the list is having no contact whatsoever with Ms. Hernandez or Mr. Hernandez. Regardless of when the last time was, you may or may not have seen them or anything like that, or any sort of, communication or any of that. Can't have any contact at all, period, going forward. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And also, other conditions include that you're going to be ordered to not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence. I'm writing in the no contact that I mentioned. Do not go to the victim's residence or the incident location. And I'm going to release you, sir. But give me just a second. I got to finish filling this out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian.
All right. So your next hearing, sir, is going to be a arraignment. It's going to be in front of Judge Million. That's going to be on March 3rd.
Okay.
At well, there's not a time on here. Let's see, probably 1:30. We'll say 1:30. And so that's going to be on the paperwork that you get, sir. And so please come back to court, because if you don't do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest. It's also this time set for an arraignment. I'm going to advise you the fact that I'm entering pleas of not guilty on your behalf, sir. And you need to come back to court, because not only could you get a warrant, but also you could be convicted in your absence if this case went to trial without you being present. And if you were convicted in that situation and couldn't be sentenced within 90 days, and you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction. Do you understand?
Yeah, I've never missed court. And then I just have one more question, please. I left a voicemail last year and that was it.
Okay, well, so hold on a second, sir. About
This
any of this.
is my opinion.
Yeah. I'm not taking sides in whether you did this or you didn't do this. And also really important to note, sir, that everything you say is being recorded right now and it's being broadcast actually on YouTube and in other places. So anything you say about what may or may not have happened or any sort of goings on between you and the alleged victim, it's all stuff that is probably better left unsaid, because you do have a right to remain silent. In any event, sir, you're going to be released. So you'll be out of the jail in a couple hours. Be sure to stay away, have no contact. All right.
Yep. Thank you, sir. Have a great day. God bless.
You too.
Sexy up that far side, man. And then- Yeah.
Good morning, ma'am. Would you please tell me your name?
Selene Mendoza.
All right, Ms. Mendoza, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on one count that alleges that you committed disorderly conduct fighting, alleged to be an act of domestic violence. Looks like it's alleged to have happened last night about 8 p.m. Presumed innocent of that. Anything you say about it could be used against you. And so let's see. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information for pretrial, and looks like the alleged victim could not be, well, the legal representative for the minor victim could not be contacted. So just a moment. All right, ma'am, for the time being, I'm going to order that you can have no contact with a minor child. So it looks like it may be your child. That's something that that could potentially be addressed later by a judge at a future hearing. But for today's sake, that is a court's order. And this condition that I'm imposing right now is part of my willingness to release you on your promise to appear. And so are you willing to do that, ma'am? Have no contact with a minor child?
Yeah, I just don't know, like, is there like a way I could change that?
Yes, you can. So what you would need to do is you could do one of a, well, you could file a motion in Tucson City Court to have that addressed by the judge. That could potentially get adjusted by a judge later, but for today's sake, that's the court's order. So you don't have to it's not a forever thing necessarily, but you have to have a judge make a different decision than I'm making today. So you need a hearing to do that, and you can fill out paperwork at city court to do that. So In light of that, ma'am, I'm also going to order that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence. And I am going to release you. Your next court date is going to be on March 5th. That's March 5th. You're going to get paperwork that says this, 9:30 in the morning. It's going to be with Judge Verena in Tucson City Court.
Okay,
And so this is also the time set for your arraignment, ma'am. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. On your, it's important that you come back to court because if you don't, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Also, trial could go forward in your absence. And if you were convicted at that trial and could not be sentenced within 90 days, then you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction, ma'am. Do you understand? Okay, thank you. You're going to be excused, or you are excused, and you'll be out of the jail here in a couple hours. All right. Have a good rest of your day, ma'am.
You too. You said February,
I
I mean,
March 5th. Yeah, March 5th, 9:30, and you're going to get paperwork that says this, okay?
okay, thank you. Let me take a paper shoes that says that. Oh, sit, oh,
Good morning.
Hello, sir.
Just tell me your name.
Liam Petrosky.
Mr. Trotsky, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you committed 2 counts of assault, 1 count of disorderly, I'm sorry, 2 counts of assault, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, all of which are alleged to be acts of domestic violence. And you're presumed innocent of all of them, sir. And so, in order to prepare for this hearing, you also have the right to remain silent if I haven't said that. In order to prepare for this hearing, sir, review the information from pretrial services. So, sir, if I release you, are you willing to have no contact whatsoever with Jesse and Autumn Petrosky? Are you willing to do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, and do you live at a separate residence from them? Is that fair to say?
Yes, I live in my own house.
Okay, very good. All right, so in light of the information from pretrial, sir, I am going to release you on this matter based on you telling me that you're going to have no contact with either Jesse or Autumn. So please don't have any contact. And just a second. Also ordering to not go back to the victim's residence or the incident location. And I'm ordering that you possess and consume no alcoholic beverages, commit no acts of domestic violence. You are going to be released on your promise to appear, sir, but you need to come back to court. Your next court date is going to be on March 2nd. That's March 2nd. It's going to be in front of Judge Maldonado, 2 p.m. in the afternoon in Tucson City Court.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're going to get paperwork that says this. One last thing before we wrap up. It's also the time set for your arraignment, sir. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You need to come back to court because if you don't do that, sir, not only could a warrant issue for your arrest, but also trial could go forward in your absence if you were convicted at that trial and couldn't be sentenced within 90 days. You could lose the ability to appeal that conviction, sir. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. You're excused. You should be released in the next couple hours or so.
Salvador Servi Jr.
Thank you, sir. You beat me to it. So good morning, Mr. Servine. All right, so this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on 3 charges. 1 count of disorderly conduct, 1 count of criminal damage, 1 count of criminal trespass in the second degree, excuse me. Those first 2 charges are both alleged to be acts of domestic violence. As it relates to all of this stuff, you are presumed innocent. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these charges could be used against you. In order to prepare for this hearing, I review the information from pretrial. And just a second. Looks like the alleged victim, one of the alleged victims is Miss Nunez, Tracy Nunez. She is saying that she would not like to have further contact with you, and she wasn't sure if she is okay with your release. Give me just a moment. Okay. So I am going to hold you, sir, on a $1,000 cash secured bond. And if you post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, sir, there's certain conditions that you need to follow. And that includes the following. You're going to be ordered to not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Commit no acts of domestic violence. Possess no firearms or weapons. Also, I'm noting on here to not have any contact with Tracy Nunez. And that includes do not go to the victim's residence or workplace or the incident location. Do you live somewhere separate from Miss Nunez?
Yeah, I live at 6450 East Eli Drive. Your Honor, if you could please.
Don't say anything about the
Yeah.
case.
Let me, if you want a little bit more of an explanation, sir, and again, you do have the right to remain silent, but it looks like you're pending in a felony case that alleges that you committed aggravated driving under the influence and other stuff. So the court's a little concerned about the allegations that appear, while they are a misdemeanor in nature and while you are presumed innocent. That's why I'm imposing the bond that I'm imposing. That plus the facts of the new case as alleged. So in any event, sir, $1,000 cash secured bond. If you post that bond, sir, you must come back to court, because if you don't do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest. And also trial could go forward in your absence. And if you were convicted at that trial and could not be sentenced within 90 days, then you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction, sir. Do you understand? You understand that, sir?
I understand, yes.
Thank you. All right, so your next court date is February 4th. That's 1:30 in the afternoon in front of Judge Million. And so she will see you then, sir. You are excused. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Just tell me your name.
Elijah McCall Miller.
All right, Mr. McCall Miller. I think we may have a victim on the line for this as well, but I will check on that in just a moment. So, Mr. McCall Miller, sir, this is the time set for your initial appearance, and let me tell you what the allegations are. Sir, the allegations are that well, you've been charged with one count of stalking, one count of kidnapping, one count of computer tampering, and one count of sexual abuse, all of which are alleged to be acts of domestic violence. I'm sorry, the computer tampering is not alleged to be an act of domestic violence. In any event, sir, as to all of those charges, you are presumed innocent. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about the case could be used against you. And so you also have the right to be represented by an attorney, sir. And to that end, I am appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you, sir. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information that was provided by pretrial services, reviewed the information in the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation. I also reviewed a Form 4C, the responses to a Form 4C inquiry that were provided. And the state's recommendation appears to be $25,000. Ms. Summers, anything further on that?
Your Honor, I do see that the listed victim is present on Teams. I don't know if she wants to address the court, but she did participate in the pretrial services contact. She objects to release, fears for her safety. I understand that he does not have any criminal history of note. However, there are reasons for that. And the other thing I just wanted to note is that the pretrial services cover sheet says that this happened in January of 2022, but it is actually a number of acts spanning over a year.
Right. Thank you for that. And let me turn to the victim before I come back to Mr. LaPrade. So the victim that's on the line, would you like to be heard as it relates to whether Mr. McCall Miller should remain in custody or not, or anything related to possible release and conditions?
Yes, Your Honor. I would object to release. I'm currently pregnant, and due to the safety concerns related to this case, my husband's own command has initiated an emergency PCS for our protection. And I fear if he is released that my protection and my husband's protection is in jeopardy, as well as that for my child.
Right. Thank you very much for that information. And Mr. LaPrade, what would you like to tell me, sir?
So I'd ask a bond of no more than $10,000. Not just because the unique circumstances of this case, but Mr. McCall Miller at risk where he currently is. But he does have no priors. He's got verified ties to the community. He does not live with the alleged victim. If he's post $10,000, he's a 1-on-1, so it's likely he'll come to court. It's likely he will not commit new criminal acts. So $10,000 will accomplish with surety appearance and community safety.
Thank you very much. So the court is going to impose a $20,000 cash as secured bond. And so, Mr. McCall Miller, some certain conditions are going to go along with that. So if you post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, you are going to be supervised by pretrial services. So please submit to any sort of monitoring or treatment that they ask you to submit to. Additionally, sir, ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons. If you have any firearms or weapons, you must surrender those firearms or weapons to, let's see, the Tucson Police Department. And so additionally, no alcohol or illegal drugs, cannot have any contact of any kind with the alleged victim, and do not go to the alleged victim's place of work, residence, or the incident location. And given that the incident location may be, given the nature of the allegations, just do not go back to the victim's residence or place of work. I will leave it at that. And sir, as I said, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. Your next hearing is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's on February 9th, 1:30 in the afternoon. Please stay in contact with your attorney at the public defender because they can keep you up to speed on what all is going on with that. And then that takes care of it, sir, other than to advise you that you need to come back to court, because if you don't do that, sir, a warrant could issue for your arrest and you could find yourself back in custody. All right, you are excused.
Thank you.
Close the door. So you can't see that and there anyway. Take it all the way around here.
What's your name?
Brian.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Antonio Rojo.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Araujo. This is your initial appearance. Seeing you on charges that allege that you committed theft and trafficking and stolen property in the first degree. You are presumed innocent of these charges, sir. Anything you say about them could be used against you. You also have the right to remain silent, if I haven't said that yet. And you have the right to be represented by an attorney. Anything, and Mr. LaPrade is seated next to you today. He's going to help you out for the purpose of this hearing. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you, sir. In order to prepare for this hearing, I review the information in the interim complaint, reviewed pretrial's information and the state's recommendation, which is that you be released to pretrial services. Anything further, Ms. Summers?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. LaPrade?
I would just agree with Ms. Summers that a release seems appropriate here.
All right, I agree. And so, Mr. Araujo, I am going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services, but it's important that you comply with any sort of monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. Also, sir, you're going to be ordered to possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Excuse me. The public defender is your attorney. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing, and that's on February 18th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Stay in contact with your attorneys because they can tell you more about that. And it's important that you come back to court, sir, because if you don't do that, a warrant could be issued for your arrest, and you could find yourself back in custody. All right, sir, you are excused.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, before he goes,
Yeah.
this is a victim case. Can you please impose no contact with victim and do not return to instant
Yes,
location?
thank you very much. I am going to do that as well. Thanks for the reminder and apologies for missing that. So Mr. Rajo, just a couple things that I just need to add on here. So please have no contact with the alleged victims. Please do not go back to the incident location, that scrapyard or whatever it's exactly. So please don't do that, sir. All right.
Yeah, I got you. No problem.
All right. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, great. I'm going downstairs. I was gonna fly for now. Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Please tell me your name.
Bradley Maldonado.
Maldonado, this is your initial appearance, sir. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you committed misconduct involving weapons and that you possess, excuse me, just a second. One charge alleging that basically you're a prohibited possessor is what the allegation is, that you possessed a firearm at such time that you were not legally allowed to. And so you are presumed innocent of that charge, sir. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney on this matter, and I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you, sir. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information from pretrial and the information in the interim complaint, the state's recommendation. It does also appear that you have an adult probation hold. So no matter what I do in the way of a bond, sir, you're going to be staying in custody, at least in the short term. So Ms. Summers, anything to add to your $10,000 bond request?
Judge, I understand that he's going to be held on the probation hold, but I think that due to the nature of him possessing a weapon while on probation for armed robbery, it's important that he be held, or that the dollar amount be reflective of that conduct, even though he's being held or on the probation hold.
Thank you very much. Mr. LaPrade.
I've got nothing to add.
All right, thank you. Just a second. Yeah, so the court is going to impose that $10,000 cash secured bond, sir. If you get out of custody somehow, some way, there are some additional conditions that the court is going to impose, and that is that you're going to be supervised by pretrial services. So please submit to any sort of monitoring or treatment that they ask you to submit to. You may also be on probation at that stage if you are released out still. So, you got your probation officer to stay in the good graces of as well. The court's going to order that you not possess any firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and that covers it, sir. So if you do get out, really important that you come back to court, because if you don't do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest, and you will probably get arrested again on that warrant. Your next court date's a preliminary hearing, February 9th, 1:30 in the afternoon, sir. Stay in contact with your attorney at the PDs because they can tell you more about that. All right. Have a good day. Yours.
All the way out. Yeah.
Good morning, ma'am. Please tell me your name.
Billy Marie Fornoff.
Pornock, this is your initial appearance. I am seeing you on a couple different things. I'm seeing you on a grand jury indictment that issued. And it alleges charges related to theft, a class 2 felony, illegally conducting an enterprise and organized retail theft, all of which are alleged to have happened back in 2024. It appears maybe February of 2024. You're also being seen on one count of shoplifting. It appears that it's out of Saurita. So on all this stuff, ma'am, you are presumed innocent. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this stuff could be used against you. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney. I am appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the warrant document that was provided. I also reviewed the state's recommendation, which is from the AG's office. They're requesting a $15,000 bond. And I know that Ms. Summers is especially appearing on this for the AG's office and Mr. McCray. Ms. Summers, anything further you'd like to add?
No, I think Mr. McCray would like to highlight is that the warrant amount is $50,000. And his recommendation of $15,000 is reflective of his acknowledgement that she turned herself in.
Got it. Thank you very much, Mr. LaPrade.
Yeah, I'd ask a bond of $10,000. Yeah, she has not been had not been previously arrested, did turn herself in. So that's indicative that she's absolutely not a flight risk. She's got one old prior that I'm seeing, a very old prior from 2006. So I think that $10,000 is appropriate here. Also, one of her friends offered to take third-party custody of her.
You, just a second. All right, so the court is going to impose the $15,000 bond that's requested. That's a cash or secured bond. If you post that bond, ma'am, you find yourself out of custody, you're going to be supervised by pretrial services with the additional conditions that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not go back to the incident locations, given the way that this case was presented to the court. I can't tell you what the specific locations are, but it looks like potential retail establishments, things like that here in Pima County. So please don't go back to wherever those places are. And so that is going to take care of that. So that's the felony. And I should say your next hearing is going to be an arraignment. That is 1 week from today. That's on Thursday, February 5th, 1:30 in the afternoon. If you bond out in this case, ma'am, you're out of custody. You must come back to court for that arraignment 1 week from today in the afternoon, because if you don't do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest and you could find yourself back in custody. So that takes care of the felony. Let's move on to the Saurita matter. And that alleges one count of shoplifting out of Saurita. And so on that, I'm going to release you. Your next court date on that is going to be on February 24th. That's going to be at 8:30 in the morning. And that's going to be in Saurita Municipal Court for an arraignment. So I'm indicating that you're released on your promise to appear. That place, this case, I know where you need to not go back to, and that's to don't go back to TJ Maxx. So please don't go back to any TJ Maxx store. And that covers that. So you understand that, ma'am, all these things that I've said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. That takes care of it. And you are excused. Thanks.
Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Could you please tell me your name?
Mario Jesús Garcia.
All right, Mr. Garcia, sir, this is your initial appearance. I've seen you on a couple different matters, so give me a second here. Okay, so I'm seeing you on new charges that are felony in nature that allege that you committed theft of means and transportation, possessed a dangerous drug, possessed drug paraphernalia. I'm also seeing you on a misdemeanor that alleges possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm also seeing you on 2 failure to appear warrants, one of which relates to a driving under the influence allegation, and the other relates to an allegation that you aimed a laser at something you ought not have aimed a laser at. So you're presumed innocent of all of these things, sir, and you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these matters could be used against you. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you on the felony matter at a minimum. And that is going to be the Pima County Legal Defender's Office will represent you, sir. And in order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information from pretrial, I reviewed the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation, which is that I impose a $25,000 bond in lieu of a no bond hearing being set, which just the short version on that is that there is an allegation, sir, that you are on release for at least one felony offense. So Arizona law says that if you're on release for at least one felony offense and you are alleged to have committed a new felony offense while on release for that first case, then the law says that you can be held without bond. The state's not asking for that. They're asking for a $25,000 bond instead of that. So Ms. Summers, anything further on that?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thanks, Mr. LaPrade.
Because the state is asking for a bond in lieu, I'll defer to the courts.
All right, thank you. Just a second. Given the information in the interim complaint, the fact that Mr. Garcia appears to be on release in 2 felony cases, and the fact that the pretrial services information reflects that he appears to have previously posted a $5,000 bond in the pendency of the on release matters and has been in warrant status for over about 2.5 years, the court does find that $25,000 is an appropriate bond. in lieu of going forward with a no bond hearing. So that is the court's order. It's going to be a cash and secured bond. Pretrial services, sir, if you post that bond, you find yourself out of custody. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. You're also going to be ordered to not possess any firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. And so that takes care of that, other than to not have any contact, no contact at all with the alleged victims. And your next hearing, sir, is going to be a preliminary hearing. It's going to be on February 9th, 1:30 in the afternoon. So if you post that bond, sir, and you get out, please be sure to come back to court, because if you don't do that, then a warrant will issue for your arrest. So that takes care of the felony matter. Let's turn now to one of the misdemeanor matters, which is out of Pima County Justice Court, that alleges, again, if you fail to appear after aiming a laser, or in relation to a charge of aiming a laser at an aircraft. I'm going to release you on that case, sir. Your next court date is going to be on March 4th at 11 a.m. in Justice Court. And so that takes care of that, other than to order that you not possess no lasers or light, well, I won't say light emitting devices, but possess no lasers, please. All right. And so next court date, March 4th, need to come back to that one. So that takes care of that. And then we have a couple things at a Tucson City Court, and we will conclude. So the two things out of city courts relate to another failure to appear, and then also the new charge, which appears to be a paraphernalia charge within the last 24 hours. Looks like it happened yesterday. So the failure to appear relates to a driving under the influence allegation. On that, sir, I'm going to release you on that case. I am going to appoint the city public defender, though, to represent you. Given the possibility, if not likelihood, that you'll remain in on the felony, I'm going to, well, just a second. All right, so I am going to set a non-transport review, sir, and that's going to be on February 13th at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's going to be in front of Judge Klotz, I believe.
Wait, he has a DUI?
Yes.
It will be in front of the judge.
Maldonado, okay. Got it. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, so that'll be in front of Judge Maldonado, excuse me. So that takes care of that. So, sir, as to that, you're going to be ordered to not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Please do not drive without a valid driver's license. And I'm also noting the felony hold here, and city public defender will represent you on that, sir. This is also the time set for your arraignment on minimum that new paraphernalia charge out of city court. So important that you come back to court, sir, because not only could a warrant issue, trial could go forward in your absence, and if trial went forward in your absence, not be sentenced within 90 days, and you'd lose the ability to appeal that conviction. All right. Sir, you're excused. Thank you.
Sir.
Yeah, thank you. I think so. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah. I didn't have her spell it though. I probably should have. Good morning, sir.
Sorry.
Please tell me your name.
Vincent Gonzalez.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez. This is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you possessed a dangerous drug and that you possess drug paraphernalia. So you are presumed innocent of this, sir. And just a second. Also seeing you, oh, just a second.
No, my files got mixed up.
Also seeing you on a warrant, sir, that alleges that you were indicted in relation to allegations of theft of means of transportation, burglary in the second degree, and also possession of drug paraphernalia. So as to all of this stuff, sir, you are presumed innocent. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about the case could be used against you. And All right, so you're going to be supervised, or represented by the legal defender's office. And so they're going to be your attorney. And Mr. LaPrad's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. In order to prepare for this hearing or review the information from pretrial services, the interim complaint, the warrant document, and the state's recommendation, which as to the warrant matter, the theft of means allegation, it's a $2,500 cash secured bond. Then as to the new matter that alleges the simple claim credit, Ms. Summers, anything further on any of that?
Your Honor, as to the warrant case, $2,500 is the amount in the warrant, so that's why I chose that amount. I understand that it was a summons case, and that he was not previously seen, but his risk assessment scores are 6 and 6. If you are inclined to give him a second chance on the warrant case, then my recommendation for the new charges changes to pretrial services, just because it's a smart case.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm not inclined to, I mean, given the 6 out of 6 on the FTA and multiple cases, I'm not inclined to do that, but I'm not going to make a final decision until I hear from Mr. LaPrade. Mr. LaPrade, sir.
So, I'd urge the court to consider pretrial services. It was a summons case. There's no indication that he was arrested on it. I'm looking at his pretrial services report, which indicates that his significant other said he's been homeless for a year. It's very likely he never got that summons. It's not, it's not sent on by certified mail or anything like that. If he's got a steps case, he would need to be out of custody for that. So I asked the court to consider pretrial services. If the court is not inclined to release him on pretrial services, I'd ask a bond of just $1,000 in each case, which functionally is very close to what the state is asking for.
Okay, all right. I've been convinced. So Mr. Gonzalez, if I release you, sir, are you going to come back to court?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to take a chance on you, sir, and release you to the supervision of pretrial services as to the both matters. But let me talk to you about some of the stuff here, because you're going to have a couple different court dates, and so you're going to get paperwork that says this, but I'm going to tell you about them now. As to the indicted matter, your next court date is going to be an arraignment. It's going to be 1 week from today. That's February 5th, 1:30 in the afternoon for that arraignment. Court is going to order that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and you submit to any sort of monitoring or treatment that pretrial services asks you to submit to. So that takes care of that one. Now we're going to move on to the next matter, which is the new case that alleges, a small possession of drugs that you may have possessed. Your next court date on that is going to be on, actually, is he willing to waive time for the steps?
May I have a second, Your Honor?
Sure.
Yeah. Yes, we're willing to waive, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. So Mr. Gonzalez, is to the second matter, I'm setting a preliminary hearing that's going to be on March 16th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And you're also going to be supervised by pretrial services on that case, sir. Consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no firearms or weapons there as well. It also appears that you may be eligible for a program called STEPS. And so STEPS is a program where folks that may have a substance abuse problem or could benefit from treatment as it relates to a substance abuse issue have the opportunity, if they're eligible for the program, to receive treatment. And then if they complete what the program asks of them, to have their charges dismissed. You don't even get indicted, assuming that you're eligible for it. As to the drug case only, this would not affect the other case, but assuming that you're eligible for it and you complete the program, you don't get indicted on this newest case that you just got arrested on. Is that something that you're interested in hearing more about, sir?
Absolutely.
Okay. So on that case, we're setting a STEPS hearing, and that's going to be 1 week from today. It's the same day as your arraignment, except it's in the morning. So the STEPS hearing is going to be at 9 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, February 5th. That's going to be in Superior Court, same place where the arraignment will be, on the 3rd floor in front of Judge Miller. Okay, so it's important that you, basically, I would plan on being downtown all next Thursday, because you'll have the hearing in the morning, then you'll have the arraignment right after lunch. And the STEPS hearing will be in front of Judge Miller. She's on the 3rd floor, so please come pay her a visit. If you don't show up for that hearing, sir, you could lose the ability to participate in steps, all right? And so that takes care of it, sir. That's everything. You're gonna get paperwork that says this, but please be sure to come back to court and you are excused.
Okay. Yes, you're gonna be released today. Really important you show up to court on February 5th. You have 9 o'clock and 1:30. It's really, really important to show up. No, I'll show up. I'm gonna show up for sure. Okay, good luck. Thank you, Mr. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, please. Good morning, man.
Good morning.
Can you please tell me your name?
I'm Jay. You.
I'm Mr. Nico. This is your hearing. Just a second. I am seeing you on charges that allege that you committed aggravated assault, serious physical injury, and that you also committed endangerment. You're presumed innocent of both of those charges, man. Anything you say about these matters could be used against you, and you do have the right to remain silent. So I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you, and that's going to be the legal defender. That will be your attorney. And in order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation, which is that I hold you on a $50,000 bond. And yeah, that covers it. Miss Summers, anything further you'd like to add?
Your Honor, I'd just like to highlight the extreme danger to the community. I understand that she doesn't have any prior felonies. She has one prior misdemeanor DUI from a while ago. But this presents a huge danger to the community as reflected by by her actions, but also by the fact that one of the victims is in the hospital with very serious injuries. So the state is requesting the $50,000.
Thank you very much. Mr. LaPrat, sir.
I'd ask a bond of 30,000. If she is able to post that, there's no real indication that she'd be a flight risk. Absolutely a condition that if she posts that she cannot drive, or I think that would be appropriate. But yeah, $30,000, right?
Okay, thank you. The court is going to impose a $40,000 cash secured bond for Ms. Granillo. So Ms. Granillo, if you post that bond, some really important conditions that you need to follow. First of all, you may not drive without a valid license. Okay, so do not drive unless you have a valid license. You may also not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, so don't do that. Ordered not to possess any firearms or weapons. And if you do post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, you are going to be supervised by pretrial services. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing. It's going to be on February 9th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And stay in contact with your attorney at the legal defender because they can keep you up to date with what's going on with that next hearing. And I'm also ordering that you have no contact at all with the alleged victims. You understand that, ma'am? You are excused. Thank you.
Hey.
Good one.
Stop it up, man.
Good morning, sir. Please tell me your name.
Joseph Johnson.
Johnson, sir, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you possessed drug paraphernalia, you possessed a narcotic drug, and also that you committed shoplifting. As to all these matters, you are presumed innocent, and you do have the right to remain silent. And anything you say about the case could be used against you. I'm appointing an attorney to represent you, and that's going to be the Pima County Public Defender, sir. Mr. LaPrat, seated to your left, he's going to help you out this morning. And it looks like, just for what it's worth, it looks like you have a DOC hold that relates to a possible Yavapai County case. So no matter what I do today, it seems like you're probably going to be remaining in custody, at least for the short term. But looks like the state is recommending that the case ought to be dismissed. So you're going to remain in custody. Go ahead, Ms. Summers.
That's okay. But to clarify, the shoplifting is a misdemeanor, so that's not part of my recommendation. I'm only moving to dismiss the felony charges.
Right. Strangely, the misdemeanor was included,
Mhm.
the felony in. So I'm going to note the dismissal only applies to the felony allegation. So some good news there, Mr. Johnson, but the DOC hold will hold you still. So it ain't all good. So just a moment and we can wrap this up, sir. Okay, so right, so this case is dismissed. You're going to be released as to this matter only, okay? But again, to emphasize that DOC hold is going to keep you in custody. So that takes care of that. And just a moment. Yeah. All right, sir, you are excused. Mr. Johnson, sir, you are all set, sir.
That's it. Otherwise.
Judge, I'm so sorry. What do we do with the shoplifting, the misdemeanor shoplifting?
So apparently there's no way. Apparently there's no way to separate that out, I think. So let me see.
I mean, I guess the only thing I can offer is that, I mean, it's justice court, so I can tell our misdemeanor unit to initiate a complaint.
I think so. It's just my understanding is that like when they're all under the same, well, hang on a second. The expert has entered the room. Just a moment. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that it's going to need to be long form. So what you said, Ms. Summers, is correct.
Okay, I will tell somebody.
Thank you. There was a better way, but I don't believe there is. So thanks.
Thank you.
All right. So could you please tell me your name?
Justice McLean.
All right, Mr. McLean, good morning. This is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a few different things. So one moment. Let's see. I'm seeing you on new felony charges. When I say new, it's an arrest relating a new arrest for older felony charges, alleging that you transported or possessed a narcotic drug for the purpose of transport or sale. You possessed a narcotic drug for sale. You used an electronic communication for a drug transaction that you possessed drug paraphernalia. I'm also seeing you on, let's see, 5 failures to appear out of Tucson City Court. As to all this stuff, you are presumed innocent. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about the case could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. And so to that end, I am appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. Mr. LaPrade seated to your left. He's going to help you out today. In order to prepare for the hearing or review the information from pretrial services, the interim complaint and the state's recommendation, which is that I release you to pretrial services. And I am not inclined to follow that just because, I mean, given the failure to appear history, I'm not inclined to follow that. But Ms. Summers, is there anything, I realize the nature of the case is what it is, but given the failure to appear history, that's a concern I have. Anything further you'd like to add?
Yes, Judge, I was a little torn on this one, also because the nature of the offense, the fentanyl pills and sales is a danger to the community. So if Your Honor is considering a bond, the state would recommend 10,000.
Okay, thank you. Mr. LaPrade?
If the court's considering a bond, I'd ask a bond of 2,000. She's 23 years old without felony, able to post whatever bond the court imposed. She's got long-standing ties to the community, but looks like is unemployed, so a bond is going to be extremely cost prohibitive for her.
Thank you very much. So the court is going to impose a $5,000 cash secured bond. So Ms. McLean, if you post that bond, you're going to be supervised by pretrial services, so please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. You're also going to be ordered to possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Your next court date's a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on February 9th, 1:30 in the afternoon. So please stay in contact with your attorney at the public defenders because they will have more to say about that as the date gets closer. All right, so that takes care of that. Next, and if I didn't say this, if you don't show up to court, ma'am, for future court dates, a warrant could issue for your arrest. And then as it relates to the city court matters, I'm seeing you on 5 different FTAs out of city courts. And so as to those, court's going to hold you on those as well, going to impose one concurrent bond across all 5 of those cases. And that bond's going to be $500. And so, one moment. And just to explain to you what the FTAs relate to, it looks like it's 1, 2, 3 allegations of shoplifting, 1 allegation of criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, 2 allegations of possession of drug paraphernalia, 1 allegation of possessing prescription only drugs, and then there's another theft allegation or shoplifting allegation that I missed. So on all those, much the same, you're presumed innocent. $500 cash secured bond as to all of those cases. If you post a bond, possess, consume no alcoholic beverages, do not go back to the incident locations. And that covers it. I'm noting the felony hold. Your next court date is going to be a video review, and that's going to be on February 6th at 1:45 in the afternoon. It's going to be in Tucson City Court. And this, all this city court stuff too, this is also the time set for your arraignment. I'm going to enter pleas, I'm not guilty on your behalf. You need to come back to court because not only could a warrant issue again if you don't, but trial could go forward in your absence on these cases. And if you were convicted at that trial and could not be sentenced within 90 days, then you'd lose the ability to appeal that conviction. Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. You are excused. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Just tell me your name.
Eli Nanez.
All right, a second, Mr. Nanez. That's right. So, Mr. Nanez, I am seeing you on 1 new charge that alleges that you committed aggravated domestic violence. And so as to that, sir, it's alleged to have happened on January 27th. You're presumed innocent, sir. Anything you say about the charge could be used against you, and you do have the right to remain silent. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, sir. And to that end, I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. Mr. LaPrade, seated to your left, he's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. In order to prepare for the hearing, I review the information from pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation, which is that I hold you on a $10,000 bond. Ms. Summers, anything further on this?
I just note that this is the same victim that he is on probation, or in the case that he is on probation for. He was allowed to remain out on the PTR and did not appear for those. Also, we don't have victim input regarding release. So even though he has the probation hold, I think a $10,000 bond is appropriate.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. LaPrade?
It's got a probation hold. I asked $5,000.
Oh, he does. Okay, so that has apparently popped up. Oh, yeah, I do see it here.
It's
Got it. All righty. Given the information that is before the court, the alleged propensity to commit domestic violence offenses and the fact that he was on probation for one such offense at such time that he picked up this new case, court's going to impose a $7,500 cash secured bond. If you do get out of custody somehow on this, sir, you're going to be supervised by pretrial services. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. You're going to be ordered to have possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, have no contact with the alleged victims, and no contact means no contact. That means in the jail, out of the jail, anything like that. Phone, in person, etc. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Right. You're also going to be ordered to not go to the victim's residence and place of work. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on February 9th. And that's at 1:30 in the morning, 1:30 in the afternoon, excuse me. And so please stay in contact with your attorney at the PD's office because they can keep you up to date on what's all going on with that. And also, if you don't come back to court, sir, for future hearings, then a warrant will issue for your arrest. All right. Have a good day.
Thank you, Ron.
Well,
Sure. No, nah. You're good.
good morning. Please tell me your name.
Missy Buenos.
All right, Ms. Pointer, I got some good news and I got some bad news. So I'll give you the good news. Good news is that your new case is being dismissed. So pursuant to the state's motion to dismiss it, I'm seeing in the file here. So that's the good news. The bad news is that it appears that you have a probation hold and you have a probation violation warrant. So you're going to be held in any event, although the new charges that you just got arrested on appear to be going away. All right. So that pretty much takes care of it. Other than that, you'll probably be seen in Superior Court on a hearing on that probation matter, and it'll probably be sometime early next week. And so that takes care of that. All right. Ma'am, you are excused. Have a good day.
Thank you.
She passed those straightforward. It's kind of like saying so. Thank you, I for you. Okay. Just hit. Here it is.
Good morning.
Morning.
Could you please tell me your name?
Justin Scary.
Just a moment. So this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you possessed a dangerous drug, that you have possessed paraphernalia as well. And so you are presumed innocent of these charges. Anything you say about them could be used against you. You also have the right to remain silent. And so You also have the right to be represented by an attorney. So to that end, I am appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. And in order to prepare for this hearing or review the information in the from pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation, which is that I release you to pretrial services and set a steps court hearing. Anything further, Ms. Summers?
I just forgot to ask that if Mr. Scari wants the opportunity at steps that you waive the PH 45 days.
Sounds good. Ms. LaPrade?
1 second. Are you interested in a program or just essentially a diversion program? We've got to do treatment and get case dismissed. That's being steps. That is steps. Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. So we're going to set the preliminary here, and I am going to release you to pretrial services. Let me say that first. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. I'm going to order that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Your next court date is going to, well, I'm setting a preliminary hearing. It's going to be on March 16th, 1:30 in the afternoon. And also, as Mr. LaPrade started telling you about, it looks like you're eligible for a program called STEPS, which is a good deal in the sense that assuming that you're eligible for it, then, and you complete what the program asks you to complete, then the charges get dismissed, you never get indicted. So it's a pretty good deal all the way around. And to the extent that you could benefit from some support as it relates to a possible substance abuse problem, then you get that help along the way as well. And it sounds like you're interested in that. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, very good. So your next hearing is going to be 1 week from today. It's going to be on February 5th at 9 o'clock in the morning in Superior Court. So it's important that you come back to that court date because if you don't do that, then you could lose the ability to participate in the STEPS program. Also, a warrant could issue for your arrest. So that takes care of it. You're going to be released. You should be out of the jail in a couple hours here. All right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, sorry. Oh, extra. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Please tell me your name.
Alfredo Somoza.
Mr. Moza, good morning. And this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you committed theft of means of transportation and burglary in the first degree. And so you are presumed innocent of all these things, sir, and you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this stuff could be used against you. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney. And I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. And Mr. LaPrade, seated to your left, he's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. And in order to prepare for the hearing and review the information for pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation, which is that I release you to pretrial services. Ms. Summers, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. LaPrade.
In light of the state's recommendation,
All right, I am willing to release you to pretrial services, sir, so please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. I'm setting your next court date as a preliminary hearing. It's going to be on February 18th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Really important that you stay in contact with your attorney at the public defender because they can keep you up to speed on what all is going on with that. You're going to be ordered to not possess any firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and of course, please submit to any monitoring or treatment that pretrial services ask you to submit to. I'm also going to order that you not have any contact with the alleged victim. All right. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. You're excused. You should be out of the jail a couple hours here. All right.
Oh,
I'm sorry. You do have one other matter.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You have a what is called a post adjudicated warrant out of Pima County Justice Court. So on that, it's from a 2017 case. So it's an old one. In any event, I'm going to release you on that as well. Your next court date is going to be on February 20th at 10 a.m. in the morning for a review hearing that's going to be in front of Judge David Miller in the Pima County Justice Court. So please come back to court for that one, because if you don't do it, then you're going to get another warrant and you may find yourself back in the jail. All right. Have a good day, sir.
thank you, sir. There you go.
Hello.
Hello.
Just tell me your name.
Bond people.
All right. Ms. Tipo, this is your initial appearance. And I'm seeing you on a warrant. Well, it's an initial appearance, but looks like you were indicted, and the indictment relates to charges alleging that you possessed a narcotic drug and that you possessed drug paraphernalia. Allegations state that this may or may not have happened on October 19th of 2025. You are presumed innocent of these allegations, and you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these matters could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information from pretrial and the state's recommendation, which is a $1,000 bond, which is the amount on the warrant out of Superior Court.
Just to add that it appears she was originally given the opportunity at steps, and that did not work out.
All right, thank you. Mr. LaPrat.
Your Honor, I know this might be splitting hairs here. I asked the court to consider a bond of $500. She's indicated that she can't even post the $1,000 bond. Stop. These are just drug charges. I'd imagine she's going to end up on probation for them, so she'll be out eventually. I'd ask a bond of $500.
All right, thank you. Just a moment. All right, I am going to pose that $500 cash or secured bond. Ma'am, if you are able to post that bond, you find yourself released, you're going to be supervised by pretrial services. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment they ask you to comply with. You're also going to be ordered to not possess any firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. So please don't do either of those things. Your next court date is going to be an arraignment. It's going to be 1 week from today on Thursday, February 5th, 1:30 in the afternoon. That's going to be in Superior Court. So you'll get paperwork that gives you the address. But if you do bond out, ma'am, you find yourself out of custody, really important that you come back to court. Because if you don't do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest.
No. Everything is recorded. I know, I was.
Yeah, ma'am, sorry. I mean, so there's a scale that we get that is provided. It's like an objective data tool that tells us what the risk is of somebody failing to appear in the future. And you're a 5 out of 6, which is a relatively high risk. So between that and your failure to appear history, your failure to appear history, I should say. It also looks like you have a warrant out of Chippewa County in Michigan. So seems like there's an issue. There may be an issue with you coming to court. So for those reasons, $500 cash secured, ma'am. Thank you. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Morning,
Please tell me your name.
Ruben Vega.
I'm Mr. Vega, sir. This is your initial appearance. Just a second. And I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug, possessed a dangerous drug, that you possess drug paraphernalia. You are presumed innocent of all of these things. And you do have the right to remain silent because anything you say could be used against you. In order to prepare, you also have the right to be represented by an attorney, sir. Let me say that. You're going to be represented by the Pima County Public Defender, sir. And so in order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the information from pretrial and the state's recommendation, which is that I hold you on a $500 bond for credit, and that I set a steps court hearing. It looks like you are on felony, you may be on felony probation as well. However, pretrial services does not reflect the hold, at least not yet. So, Ms. Summers, anything further?
Yes, Judge, I was wondering if we could check with the jail to see if the hold is here yet.
Yes.
But either way, it should be coming really soon, and that's why the state recommended a bond rather than release.
All right, very good. And to the jail, very good question. Is there a hold in place yet?
Doesn't show anything on your end, Your Honors.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. LaPrat.
I would imagine a hold is coming soon, so I'll defer to court.
All right. Court is going to impose that $500 bond request. And so, Mr. Vega, if you post that bond, you find yourself, and there's not a hold that would keep you, and you get out of custody, then you're going to be supervised by pretrial services. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. I'm also going to order that you not possess any firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. It also looks like you may be eligible for a program called STEPS. STEPS is a pretty good deal, in my opinion, because if you're eligible for the program and you complete what the program asks of you, then this case would be dismissed before you ever get indicted. Can't promise you that you'll be eligible for it, but if you are and you do what the program asks of you, then the entire case gets dismissed. Is that something that you're interested in learning more about, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, so your next court date is going to be on February 5th. That's 1 week from today at 9 o'clock in the morning in Superior Court. It's going to be in front of Judge Miller. So important that if you're out of custody for some reason, that you come back to that hearing, sir, because if you do not do that, then a warrant will issue for your arrest. There's a good chance it will issue for your arrest. And also you could lose the ability to participate in STEPS. Given that Mr. Vega is going to remain in custody, I'm not going to ask for a PH waiver. We'll keep the same PH date. And that is going to be on February 9th. That's Monday, February 9th, 1:30 in the afternoon. So again, sir, just to emphasize, important that you come back to court. STEPS is a good program if you are eligible for it. So hopefully you are, and hopefully you take care of business. All right. Thank you, sir. You're excused.
Judge, which office did you appoint?
Public defender.
Thank you.
You got it.
Look.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Sorry. Good morning.
Morning,
Please tell me your name.
Tiffany Warren.
All right, Ms. Warren, this is your initial appearance of seeing you on charges that allege that you committed domestic violence, aggravated assault. I'm sorry, that's not the right file. My apologies. Didn't mean to throw you there for a second. Don't like surprises around here. So I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug and that you possessed drug paraphernalia. Again, my apologies. So you're presumed innocent of these allegations, and anything you say about them could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. And to that end, I am appointing the Pima County legal defender to represent you. And in order to prepare for this hearing, I have reviewed the information submitted by pretrial services. I've also reviewed the interim complaint and the state's recommendation, which is that I hold you on a $1,000 bond in lieu of a no bond hearing being set. And essentially, the law says that if you are on release in one felony case and then you pick up a second felony case while you're pending in the first one, then the law allows you to be held without bond. The state is not asking that you be held without bond. Instead, they're asking that I impose an $1,100 bond. Anything further on that, Ms. Summers?
Just noting that there's also a bench warrant that she's with Superior Court that she's going to be seen on as well. So she's at the moment being held without bond
Makes sense.
on that case.
Thank you. And Mr. LaPrade?
I've got nothing to add.
All right. Okay. So as it relates to the new matter, the court is going to impose an $1,100 bond. It's going to be a cash or secured bond. You're also going to be seen in Superior Court on a different hearing that relates to the case that you may have been pending on. But in any event, all we're talking about today is the new case. And so if you post that bond and you're out of custody, you're going to be supervised by pretrial services. So please comply with any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to comply with. Please also do not possess any firearms or weapons and consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Setting your preliminary hearing, it's going to be on February 9th, 1:30 in the afternoon, given that you're going to be held. It does also appear, ma'am, that you may be eligible for a program called STEPS, which is a good thing, assuming that you're eligible for it, because what it is it's a program that can offer you some support as it relates to a possible substance abuse problem. And if you do what the program asks of you and you graduate the program, then the charges get dismissed before you even get indicted. It's a pretty good deal. So are you interested in learning more about that, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to set your next court date. It's going to be a STEPS hearing on Thursday, February 5th, 9 o'clock in the morning. And you'll learn more about the STEPS program at that time, have a chance to speak with an attorney. And if you want to go forward with it, then great. All right. Have a good day, ma'am. You're excused.
Ma'am,
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Please tell me your name.
Isaac Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you committed aggravated assault alleged to be an act of domestic violence, And then also a couple misdemeanor counts alleging 1 count of disorderly conduct, 1 count of assault, both alleged to be acts of domestic violence. As to all these allegations, you are presumed innocent. Anything you say about them could be used against you. This case, I should say, could be used against you. So you also have the right to be represented by an attorney, and that is going to be, excuse me, the Pima County Public Defender. And so in order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint, reviewed the state's recommendation, which is a $50,000 bond. I also reviewed the information from pretrial. Ms. Summers, anything further?
Your Honor, I believe the victim is present on Teams. I don't know if she wants to address the court.
That's right. Thank you
first.
for the reminder. I apologize to the victim for not catching that. I was told and then I forgot. Is the victim present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, what would you like me to know, ma'am?
So on January 24th, Isaac Williams strangled me inside of our apartment. Law enforcement did respond around 4 a.m. I do have visible injuries and I did seek medical attention. As of right now, I do have an active order of protection, which he is now attempting to contest. I'm afraid for my safety if he is released, and this is not the first time he has been violent. I'm also just very concerned that he may try to contact me or retaliate. Quite frankly, sir, I'm afraid for my life. At the hospital, a registered nurse also completed a domestic violence danger assessment with me, which my score came out to a 19, indicating high risk. So I'm just asking the court to consider denying the bond, and if a bond is granted, I ask for a strict no contact conditions and that he is not allowed to have any weapons.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, ma'am. And Mr. LaPratt.
So
Oh,
I
Your
have,
Honor, I'm sorry.
Hold on, Ms. Summers. Sorry, I did things out of order and then I skipped you. Sorry.
No problem. Thank you. So I understand he doesn't have any criminal history that is indicated in the pretrial services report. But I would ask the court to take note of the nature of the offense, take the victim's input into consideration. Also, that this case involves strangulation. And I have highlighted in my recommendation the statistics regarding the lethality concerns with strangulation. And that I understand. I think the listed victim requested no bond, and unfortunately, the state is not in a position to be able to request that legally today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. LaPratt.
so I'd ask the court consider a $20,000 bond with the strict no contact order. He already has that order of protection, which was served on him after this incident. With that order of protection, as long as that remains in effect, he knows he cannot have contact. And if he does have contact, he's just going to get more charges. That should help to ensure the victim's safety. Again, he's got no priors. He's a 1-1 on the NCA FTA scale. So there's nothing to indicate that he's a flight risk. He's only 24 years old. So $20,000 bond is appropriate.
All right, thank you very much. The court is going to impose a $40,000 cash secured bond. And so, Mr. Williams, a couple things you need to know about this. First of all, if you post that bond and you find yourself out of custody, you are going to be supervised by pretrial services. So please submit to any monitoring or treatment that they ask you to submit to. Also, if you are out of custody, you may not, well, regardless of whether you're in or out, it's particularly pertinent if you're out of custody. You may not possess any firearms or weapons. You may not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence. You may have no contact whatsoever with the alleged victims. This is what, by my count, the second time that a court is ordering you to not have any contact with the alleged victim. Okay, that includes do not go to the victim's residence or place of work. All right, and no contact means no contact. That's not just in person. It means no calls from the jail, no calls, no texts, no nothing. Do you understand that, sir?
Sir.
All right. So in light of that, $40,000 bond is what the court's ordering with the conditions expressed. Your attorney is the public defender, sir, so please stay in contact with them. Your next court date is a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on February 9th at 1:30 in the afternoon. So stay in contact with your attorney because they can keep you up to speed on what all is going on with that, sir, okay? You are excused.
Thank you, sir.
Shut the door downstairs.
And I think that did everybody, so please have a good day.
You too.